Father Martin Curtin. I'm a Capuchin. I'm serving in St. Pius X Church in Middletown, Connecticut, doing reflection on belonging. This coming Sunday, the readings help us think about belonging as in, who do we allow to belong? In the first reading from Exodus, the question is, are there people who weren't at the ceremony to receive the Spirit? Would they be allowed to belong in the circle of leaders, elders? And then in the Gospel, we have Jesus correcting the disciples about, don't stop the people doing good work in my name, even if they're not of our company. They belong as part of the work of the kingdom as well. And these are nice readings to sit with, to say, how do we let people belong? And you look at our own communities. Do we welcome people? Do we allow them to come in? Do we give them an opportunity to share their gifts? Do we work well with others? And these are wonderful things to look at, and sometimes to congratulate ourselves. That, as a parish, we're a welcoming parish. We're so friendly. And that's a wonderful thing. That's not what I'm going to talk about. Talk about a different idea about welcoming and about belonging. Is that not do we let others belong to our community, is that to wonder about the experience of those times where we were allowed to belong, where somebody allowed us to belong to their world, to their faith, to their community. Because until we understand how we've been made to belong, we're never going to really do it as generously for others. To be allowed to belong is an amazing thing. That when we come from without, as friars, we're itinerants. We go from place to place. And we're never at any place that long, which means we have to break our own hearts and leave to a place where we've belonged, to go to a new place to find out if we will belong. Will we be given the opportunity to be part of? And will people claim us as part of their world? That's the wonder of what Francis saw in the sending of the disciples. And he said, go out and preach. And people will feed you and give you shelter. Some. Because God does this. He allows for us to belong to new people, new places, new communities. And the wonder of that experience ought to inform us. Because really, it's not just that we do this, that we let people in, is that God allowed himself to belong to us. As it says in the prophet Isaiah, we sing it with Handel's Messiah. Unto us a son is given. Unto us a child is born. He was willing to wait to see if we would let him belong. And the ordinariness of his life, that he was so much a part of the community he was in. He was circumcised like everybody else, that he went to synagogue like everybody else, who went up to the temple like everybody else, to the point that when he started preaching publicly, that people say, this is our Jesus. How could he be the Messiah? He's just one of us. That Jesus was willing to become ours. Even if that meant either possibility of being rejected or the possibility of becoming so ordinary as to become less potent. But that risk of allowing others the right to tell if we are going to belong or not. And that to know that it's not, belonging is not just that I got to bring the food that I make out of my culture to the parish picnic. And they liked my pancit or rice and beans. And now I belong, because they ate my stuff. It's that the deeper gift, that we're not exotic, but we're theirs. That people allowed us to be their people. And that there's an understanding, because we're there, then we have a right to say, you know, could we do better? Is the way we do things here the only way to do things? That Jesus credentialed himself as being one of us in all things but sin. Because as a result, he can say to us, there's something other than sin that's possible. That we together can do this, and he has, because he's our Jesus. He belongs to us because he's one of us. I think that's a powerful thing to sit with, to look through our lives. Where are the times and places where this miracle that a community of folks said that we belong to them, that we belong to them, that we entered their culture and they saw that we had something to offer to be in being there, that we were willing to identify with theirs, and they, as a result, said that we were worth claiming. So that in turn, when we have folks where the question is, not just do they show up and belong in one sort of level, that we aren't rude and dismissive or cold, but that we're saying, I know how valuable, no, I know how gracious it is for a community to say, you belong to us. So, we ask the Lord, who took so many risks to be ours, to give us the courage and the wisdom and the persistence to be willing to be part of communities and also know the wealth and beauty of what it means to allow others, to invite others to belong to us. Thank you very much.